Hello.
Hello. Welcome everyone joining in today. My name is Natalie. I'm the event officer for Melbourne, and I am joined by Matt, event officer for Adelaide, as well as Jordan, game design student, and Emily, filmmaking student. So I'm very excited to be introducing our students today because we are discussing the student experience at AIE. So can I just say before we get started, the countdown to this live stream felt very much like a game show. It definitely was nerve-wracking. Was that the same for you guys as well?
Yep, I felt like
Like,
I was under massive
yeah.
time pressure.
Yeah,
Massive.
yeah. I love it. And before we get started as well, how was everybody's day today?
Fantastic, actually.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah,
Love
good.
it. Love
Very
it.
good.
Yeah.
Productive.
Very
Love a productive day.
nice.
So
We did have a productive day. Alrighty. So, first question. Let's just fire shot. So, Emily, what inspired you to pursue filmmaking, and how did you choose AIE for your studies?
I'm not kind of sure what inspired me to get into filmmaking, but I think in school I really enjoyed one of my classes, and I got to film something, and I was like, oh, this is really fun. I kind of enjoy it, and then I kind of went down the deeper dive of maybe I could do this as a career and stuff.
Yeah.
And then when I kind of went through like a big dig through like looking through all the different schools and stuff, but AIE definitely stood out, and I hadn't heard much about it, but I went to a couple of open days and talked to Nat when he came down, and then kind of chose it. And also I guess the VP screen also was like, I'm like, that would be a good thing to learn. And
Yeah.
No,
that's so awesome. It's such a good point as well, having virtual production. And for anyone that doesn't know about virtual production, you haven't heard it before, think like green screen, but instead of a green screen, it's like a massive modification. It's a lot more fancier. It's revolutionizing how we do filmmaking. So think like a giant wall behind you that serves like a giant TV. So it's really realistic backgrounds for the actors and directors. So we're very fortunate to have one on our campus and to allow it to the students for filmmaking to be able to use it and create some really cool films. And we'll be able to show some films coming up as well from Emily. But I do recall the first time I met you as well, Emily, in terms of like sitting down together and discussing the movies and your interest as well. And I remember that from that first conversation, I'm like, this is going to be a really fun class. And I wasn't wrong. I was very, very right. So yeah, I'm so glad you were excited to come to AIE. And Jordan as well. So what made you apply for game design at AIE?
Well, there's actually a lot of things. I've always grown up loving games my entire life, but I think one of the main big pivotal points for me was early childhood. My dad challenged me to chess.
Oh, I love
chess. This story, yeah.
Wait, you're a young kid and your father has gone.
Yeah. So
chess.
He's gone. He's a massive Star Wars fan, massive pop culture, all that stuff. So I was introduced into Star Wars. I actually was 2 weeks old, and he took me to see Star Wars #4.
2 weeks old.
I don't remember a single thing about it, but
you absorbed the whole thing.
I can now say that I have seen Star Wars as a child. So it's pretty good. But anyway, so he challenges me to chess. Baby. And you expect like most parents would go, oh yeah, I'll go easy on my kid and let them win. No, not this man. He challenges me, he beats me like that. 3-move chess checkmate, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I turned around and was like, you know what? I'm not gonna let him win. He can't be that good. So I went and challenged him for the next 3 years or something like that. To chess every single day to try and beat him. And now I did everything I could to beat him, right? I changed the rules of the chess. I changed, I made new pieces. I took away pieces. I added time restrictions, all these stuff. He absorbed all this information and just took it on. And so when I finally beat him, and it was actually with the normal set of rules, I went on to beat him about 10 more times before I was satisfied and stopped playing chess.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. You know what? Quit while you're ahead.
Absolutely.
I would keep going. But that is so cool. I do remember you mentioning that story and like you warping the rules of chess.
So wait, is that what you became fascinated with the game design itself?
Yeah, fascinated with the mechanics and the rules of games, because while making the chess pieces and the new chess sets and understanding like how
Right.
it works, like I kind of suck at chess. I'm gonna be honest. Like even after all the experience I've had with it, I still kind of suck at it. But the experience of going through, making the chess pieces and understanding why each chess piece works
Right.
in each way really made me fall in love with, when it came to deciding which option to go with AIE, because I was really always interested in AIE.
Right.
It made it a clear option for me. Yeah.
That is so cool. And can I ask, what was your portfolio like then? Did you bring in like that concept, that idea?
No, I actually brought in. I had made a paper card game somewhere along the lines. It wasn't very good. It was just like trying to do something similar to games like Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon.
Right.
And so I brought that. I showed that up, but I'd also brought a recreation of the game Frogger, which I did in my Year 10 course.
Right.
And the professor just had one look at that. I was like, "Yep, you're in." Barely had a look at my other work, and I was like, "Oh, I did all this other actual game design stuff rather than coding stuff, and you're more interested in the coding stuff." I mean, they're not more looking towards your passion, making sure that you have passion to do it, because it is a course that brings you from the ground up.
Love that, Jordan. I was about to touch on that, but you already did it for me. I was going to say, for anyone that doesn't know about the requirements for enrollment for AIE for the courses, we just have a portfolio interview and we discuss the portfolio and your passion for the industry and the skills you've already tried and the skills we can build upon. But yeah, very good. Love it.
You're probably going to ask this in a second, Nat, so I might be jumping ahead here. But
yes, go.
But Emily, what was then your portfolio for film? I take it your dad didn't make better films than you for as a baby.
If he did, that was crazy.
I was the only one who was interested in film. I was scared because like when I had decided that I wanted to go here, I was like, oh my God, I don't have much for my portfolio. But then like I had done like a work placement thing with school and I got to like create a little thing there. And then I had a couple of videos and I always had photography stuff because I did photography. And then, they really just worry like more about your interest and how passionate you are about the course.
No, it's so true. People don't realize that you can just bring in photos as well. If you want to, an idea for a movie. All of these foundational things count towards your portfolio. You don't have to make a polished game or a polished movie to be able to get to these courses. So very valuable knowledge because I wasn't aware of that as well before I started AIE, and I thought that's really cool. It's things that we can build upon. And I keep saying we as if I'm a teacher, but I'm not. Alrighty. So next question is for Emily again. So you and your class have already made 15 films this year with 2 more on the way. How do you manage to maintain such a high production rate in your class?
Well, I guess it's because most of us, we're all passionate and we're a smallish class and we get our stuff done on most time. And I'm like, well, we have all this free time. What if we just recorded something? What if we just filmed this? What if we just made this? Which ended up, we kind of were like, oh, what if... we ended up just filming
a lot of what
which will help. Like it helps out with the portfolio and like the show reels and stuff. So it's pretty good. And I think it's just because throughout the year we've all just kind of come comfortable with each other, and we're like, okay, well, what if we give this role to this person, and we kind of just
roll with it, see what happens, trial and error. Were there any ideas that were too like outlandish to run with? Is things that you scrapped, or have you just pursued every single one and made
most of them we have done, and or if we couldn't get like a location or we didn't have time for like an actor or stuff, most of us will just jump in and we kind of just work around the problem and then fix it.
So good. Well, your portfolio is going to be stacked as well. Love it. And what about you, Jordan, as well? Can you tell us what you're working on at the moment in terms of your major project?
Well, it is a little bit of a non-spoiler. So I'll give you a high-level overview of it.
Okay.
Our games, we're working on a project currently. It's taking 14 weeks for production currently.
Yep.
So that's going to take us to the end of the year. And our games, I'll just bring up the description real quick, actually.
Yeah.
So it's a 2.5D puzzle platformer where the character's goal is to survive and find a new place to call home.
Ooh, we love a survival game.
Mm.
I mean, I love it, but when I'm in it, my heart's racing so fast. I'm just like, I have to remind myself this isn't real life. But that's what makes it so thrilling, right? And so engaging. Very
Yeah, exactly.
cool.
It's the intense moments that you really like in those survival type games that
Was
really.
was this your pitch? Was this your game design idea, or is this one of your team members? Yeah, yours. Okay, yeah, cool.
Oh, so it was really group effort. We got a portfolio pitch. We got a pitch from one of the teachers, and then we just took it further. So it was the initial idea was the teacher's idea, but we were able to take it on in our own way and decide how we were going to do it.
Yeah.
Can I ask, actually, just because we're talking about it, when it comes to game design, obviously ideas are fantastic for game design. That's where everything starts. But like, if you're studying game design, how does it work with a project or projects that you, like, is everything just up to you? Do you decide everything? How does it work in terms of if you're working with other designers? Is it their projects that you need to work on? Like, who shares what?
So that's a good question, actually, because I was actually a little bit confused by that at the first time I did it. And I think it really is that it's everyone. You can do it a bunch of ways. Like, the way we've done it is we've kind of worked together well enough that we were able to make it so both that all of our designers were able to just fall into and contribute to the things, to the levels, to the scenes, to all the things, and work in the way. But we bring ideas from anyone we can, because it's everyone working on the project. We're not. I've heard actually someone say this really good way is to, as designers, it's not our job to come up with all the ideas. It's our job to bring the good ideas forward.
Right.
So that could be from anyone. Like, it could be from a playtest, it could be from the artist, it could be from the narrative design, the narrative writer. Probably that's going to be a designer, but like, it could be any one of these people who have had contact or had some sort of influence on the project, that can decide, or it can't really decide, but can have an idea be sourced from.
Right. Yeah. So like, everybody's voices are heard, but the roles for the game designer is thinking, okay, what's going to make the most sense? What can we actually do as well in a logical way? But what's going to be an advocate for the player and make sure the game's really fun and engaging? That's awesome.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I know, like, when you think game designer, it's like, okay, they're the big boss. They're the ones that are just deciding on everything. But it's good to know that, it's a group effort. Everyone's coming together to make sure they're actually enjoying the process and they're contributing too. So love that. Yeah.
And I think the designer being the person who decides everything is kind of a bit of a misnomer, because they're more or less the ones that come up with the ideas, but they're thinking, okay, how can I make this engaging and fun? They're not really, they'll be listening to whoever is actually the big boss, because it's that person who not more or less decides, but is there to facilitate, to make sure that the game is fun.
Yeah, cool. Maybe we should bring up one of Jordan's projects as well.
Oh, this is embarrassing.
What are you talking about? No way. It's showing off your hard work.
What one would you like to bring up, Jordan?
Let's go with Pet Sitter to start off with. I think that's going to be most relevant to this, what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, do you want me to bring up the PDF, or do you want me to?
Yeah, I think the PDF, that's going to be the only one.
Yep. Yeah.
Cool. I'm excited.
Start talking to us about this game, I guess.
Yeah. Well, so for people who don't know much about game design in general, you have to be able to create documents, to be able to communicate your ideas. So that's one of the main ways we are able to communicate to the team. And it's also a way that we have a reliable source of information for the entire team to look at. So for instance, if you have a programmer and they want to know, okay, what's the end objective of this, mechanic they're making, they're going to look through this document and go, okay, that's what it does and that's what it's part of. And this is also one of the main things we get taught about in the course. So we got a version history just going about, the changes throughout the whole document. But if you scroll down a little bit, we can go through the overview. So for this game, it was a uni student who's trying to take care of a dog. So I'm just having to refresh my memory because it's been a while since I touched on this one. So you're a uni student trying to take care of a dog. And so the dog, likes to mess up the house, likes to misbehave. There could be a whole bunch of things, behavioral issues with the thing, and it's your job to try and take care of it.
Oh, did that just drop off for you guys? That's
No, still happening for us.
Still
Oh,
seeing.
okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Cool. And then how long ago was this project?
I think it was more or less, or beginning of the year, so April, February, April, around that time.
Nice. And did you end up doing like the gameplay for it?
Not actually, no, I didn't. I found a bunch of issues through playtesting and realized how much work it was actually going to be.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the setup and all the initial stuff was going to, with my level of coding experience, it wasn't a project I was willing to take further just yet. Especially since there was a major problem with like the play space, because I was planning on putting it onto a iPad or a phone, so having an app for it. The size and the level of detail that you were able to get was going to be an issue. So yeah, I went through the document and tried things like I got projected audio tracks, got level flow, got started going through all the mechanics. That's kind of the main thing you want with these documents, is you want the mechanics. So for instance, time, dogs, moods, and stats. So that's going to go over everything about what the dog is and how the dog functions mechanically in game. We've got an example test level there, and that just basically shows what the view of the player would be. The first food activity, and that's showing an example of how the dog, or how close you would see the bowl, or how it would be detecting the bowl.
I think this is really cool to just quickly see, because so many people I know that I speak to, and when you talk about like making of game, they're just like, a lot of people speak of it as just, oh yeah, you put in a couple guns and you just shoot people.
that's
like,
that's
or
the
it's
main
like
thing, yeah.
Yeah, or it's like, oh, you just put in
There's
a couple
no
of levels, and it's like, it's just like, it takes a couple of days.
Yeah.
It's like, no.
A lot of the first comments I get after I tell people I'm studying to be a game designer is that, oh, so you must do a lot of the coding and the programming and the other things like that.
No.
And like I have to say, so think of it this way, that I'm doing design work. So a programmer will make a sword, function, make it swing, make it, hit something, damage something. An artist will make the sword look good. A designer will give the sword a purpose. So, why is the sword here? Is it going to, attack an enemy? Probably because it's a sword. What's the sword there for? That's a designer's job, to find out the reason that sword is there.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, for me as well, when I speak to students, I think there's been some misinterpretation in terms of hearing the word design and thinking that it's just about the aesthetic qualities for the game. But there's, like you said, there's so much thought and mechanics that go behind the game designing role. And I think it's a really important point that you mentioned. I decided not to go ahead with it because sometimes for our stomachs, and then you think, okay, rather than pursuing all this time and knowing that's not going to work out, I'm going to scrap this and move on to the next one that you want to pursue. So really cool points.
And none of that was actually the playtesting and the prototyping, but none of that was done in an actual engine. That was all paper prototyping. And that's one of the first things you actually learn in the first year is you don't have to do a computer engine for you don't have to use like Unity or Unreal, for instance. You can use paper, because you can just do, for a card game, you can start drawing a piece of paper, make up some mechanics, make up some skills. Maybe this card A can attack card B, but card B can't attack card A because it doesn't have any attack points, or something along those lines. You really don't need a computer in order to start design, you can start with a chessboard, for instance.
Very, very wise words. Love it. What about you, Emily? So how has the virtual production set on campus enhanced your filmmaking experience?
Well, at the start, it was very hard to like understand how to like light the stage for our projects and stuff. But it definitely has made it a lot better and a lot easier. Like, I guess a lot of the ways that people also explain a virtual production is like, say if you want to get golden hour, instead of having that, hour, you can do it in the virtual production space for as long as you want, as long as you have the lighting and, your program, or I guess
Like your equipment,
your
your camera?
environment sort of thing set up properly.
Right. Yeah. It's like when you say golden hour, that's like the sunset, right?
Yeah.
So when the sun's setting with virtual production, like you don't have to worry about time constraints because you can just keep replaying it.
Yeah.
Whereas in real life, you've got like a 6 minute, not even 6 minute window.
Yeah,
like you've got less than that. And then it's like,
Yeah.
oh great, we lost the sunlight. Let's come back tomorrow. Like
Yeah.
12 hours out again. Waste all this time. But with virtual production, say goodbye to those worries.
So
just quickly, I want to. I'm going to bring up just a quick little screen share of the website, which will just have an image of the virtual production. Just so it's just an image, but you can see here kind of what we're talking about with virtual production. So Nat earlier talked about a green screen and how it's replaced now with LED panels. And so you can kind of see here the film crew behind the scene. And Emily, actually, I might pass over to you here to talk about virtual production and keep going on with your answer and how it all works. But yeah, just for viewers, they can be able to see a bit clearer.
Yeah, so with that, we have all different sorts of people working around the virtual production because, you got your camera and you got your gaffer, which will normally do lights and also sometimes sort out the environment because we're using, sorry, I forgot what the app we're using for the virtual production.
That's all right.
We got a new one. So it's working a lot better now because we did have a lot of problems with trying to get certain environments to run, which is, I guess, a downside because you got to make sure that it runs properly. Sometimes it takes a bit, but in the end, it works out and you get your stuff filmed. And with that, it like also tracks. So the camera, there's a tracker on top of the camera, which on the screen, it will have like this little box, and it also has so instead of like the photo staying still, you get the parallax.
Ooh.
So it won't be like a still photo and it'll kind of look like a green screen. It'll actually make it look like the environment's moving as well. Like if you move, you kind of see like an object moving in the background. So it's kind of imitates what you would see in real life.
I have seen you guys in action and like using the same techniques you mentioned. I won't mention that word again because I've already forgotten. I think it's parallax.
Parallax. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Cool. But yeah, it's a really cool, and I think it's a good point you mentioned in terms of the roles. It's not just like one person, operating like the scene. There's so many different roles in filmmaking. I think people assume it's just going to be director, producer, actor, and that's it, or and like cameraman. But like there's like you mentioned gaffer and everything as well.
Yeah.
In the film industry currently, they're looking for a lot of roles for people to film. So if you're interested in filmmaking, there's a lot of roles out there for you guys. Maybe we should bring out some of Emily's projects. Maybe the reel.
Yeah, we'll show the reel.
Yeah, I love that reel. I laugh every single time.
All right, I'll bring it up and hope this should include some sound as well. So let's see we go. Ready?
Yeah.
Hey, you there? Take me out of here.
Birds. They're not real.
Why do you only work with students?
They could even rival in iconic pepperoni. Strawberries.
What? You think I'm an amateur, and well, you're wrong. Because I'm Steven Spielberg, and you're Michael Bay. Until the day you die, you, not me, will always be Michael Bay. Take a seat, lad.
It's very powerful. Cuts through anything. People, rocks, armor, my father. To capture this guy, gonna need some serious gear.
You've recently come in because you went to the beach that makes you old.
Yeah, I went to the beach that makes you old. Yeah, have you heard about this beach? It makes you old.
The beach, it makes you old? This beach that makes you old?
It makes you old. It makes you old.
Why did we let Detective Black interrogate Terrence?
I love it. So much fun. I mean, you can see already like all the different kind of projects you guys have made. There's a lot of comedy in there, which I love. I know for a fact right now you guys are working on some more serious projects as well. Yeah. So excited. I can't wait to see those ones. But it shows you like, you know, the scope of the virtual production. Like when you've got virtual production behind you, like you can do any environment. So much fun. Even the detective black and white noir. I love that one with the bell. There wasn't even smoke behind that figure, was there?
I think there was. It was really fun.
Oh, there was?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And it was just the lighting, like, just showcasing the silhouette.
Yeah.
That was so much fun. Yeah, so cool. I love all those projects. Maybe we can bring up one of Emily's personal favorites too. Which one was your favorite one to shoot?
I'm not sure. I'll go with the. What do you have lined up? Sorry.
So I've got Who Has Done This, and I got Whispers in the Night.
I'll do Whispers in the Night. I did like that one. And
Whispers in the Night?
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, let's play that one. All right.
So dramatic. I love it. The suspense built. Oh my gosh.
I was quaking in my boots.
How many weeks did that take to make, Emily?
Well, actually, we were like, we have this environment, we have this new creature sort of thing. We're like, oh, what if we film something? So we this is like in I think a day we filmed everything.
Yeah.
We're like, we just want to test things out, and got the smoke machine and just started recording.
Love it. All right, question for both of you. What are some of the challenges you guys have faced during your courses and how did you overcome them? Maybe just one challenge.
Oh, that's a good question. Sorry, I need to look at my notes actually.
It's just been that easy at AIE. That's that much fun. You just
Yeah,
like,
no, it's like
challenges.
it was so easy, you know, like everything just done. No need to stress that. No, but so I think one of the major challenges I faced, because I did focus on so much in my early, you know, childhood, focus on mechanics and systems and all anyway, you know, doing stuff physically and outside of you know, more board game stuff than anything. One of the challenges I faced was that I didn't have much experience with coding and doing all those other things. So I haven't had many experience in engines or anything like that. So one of the challenges I faced was actually learning those tools and learning how to actually use Unreal and Unity. So I decided to use, for this year, to use one of my subjects to just do all coding. And I knew that I sucked at, you know, basically any type of coding because I hadn't, you know, gotten any experience. So I went in and did Unreal 5's blueprints. And this is a visual scripting kind of tool that basically it's programmers call it spaghetti code, but for a visual learner like myself, it worked out immensely well. And I was able to learn a lot. And I think I can show you some project I did after that in Unreal, if Matt wants to bring it
what
up.
project?
VR experiments.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. So I did explore a bit in VR after that as well. So this one was a lot of trying things out and seeing what worked. So I tried. Oh, that's right. This is one of my play testers actually. So I tried making this cannon here, where you'd put an item in the cannon, and then you'd, you know, press the button, and the cannon would shoot the thing. And to set up the player controller, the, you know, let alone the mechanics and other things, was a very, very big eye opener. Not just eye opener, but just like it was really, really fun to go do all the typing in and all that stuff. But in this case, it was like drag and drop and just work with all the tools that I could to figure out how it worked. And so you can see here that the playtester kind of, he tried things out. He didn't work. It didn't work out for him, but it took him a while to try and figure out, okay, you got to put the cube in the case, and then you got to press the button to shoot the cube, because you can see him here trying to, you know, okay, maybe if I click the button, you know, maybe if I hit it with the box. So there's a lot of, if you do ever make something, test it as soon as you can.
Yeah. Also.
Yeah.
So cool. Yeah. Love it. And when do you think this one will be finished for this game?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I was just trying out a bunch of things. I thought, yeah, this might be cool.
Yeah, nice.
I think I will take this a bit further, maybe next year. But at this point, it's just, it hasn't even got a mechanical concept behind it. So
good. Well, yeah, it looks really good so far. Love it.
Mm.
Question for both of you. What is the community like for both of you at AIE?
I'll let Emily take away this one.
Yeah. No, honestly, it's pretty good. Most people here, they're all very nice. And I guess also if you like stuck on something, they will, like in the class, they're willing to help out and teach you new things and how to fix the problem that you have. Yeah, it's just been people are nice. Yeah.
Love it. And like I was talking to you earlier as well, Emily, in terms of like what it was like versus day one as well.
Yes.
Yeah. What was the community like when like day one coming into a class with these random people to where you are now with this like close knit community with especially film class? How do you compare?
Yeah, it's changed so much. I mean, like on the first day, everybody like was shy towards each other. Nobody really, like when we had that pitch thing, nobody wanted to, I guess, hurt anybody's feelings, I guess, or overstep.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just been like, we still are respectful like of what people say, and
But you
say,
feel a bit more confident to like say,
yeah, more
no.
yeah.
Yeah. So like we were
Mm.
discussing it earlier when you said like, you've got your own vision, and you feel a bit more confident to be like, no, like I really want to do this because it's like, it's my idea, and like, well, can we just do this? And and
I guess it also comes back with, since like we still do like a lot of shoots, but like, well, we can always film it later. Like that's where it comes.
Good compromise.
We don't have to do it right now. We can film it later. Like I think sometimes with our projects, we'll literally like put the name of the project on the board and then kind of secretly tally which one we want to film. So then it's kind of like majority rules. And then if we want to film something else later, we can.
Lovely. What about you, Jordan? Community AIE.
It's been a whole lot of fun. I come in every day. I talk to two or three people, and I have the wildest conversations. Like the other day, we were just talking about some random stuff that we would doing in our projects, and comparing which project had different challenges, and seeing which was working in what ways they were working and why they were working in those ways. So it's a lot of like-minded people talking about similar things. So no longer, I mean, for me, it was like I was constantly the one that was just I was making games, but a lot of people were playing them. So I wasn't able to go to them and be like, oh, doing this thing, making this thing was really interesting, because all they'd know is how to play games. So having like-minded creators by your side is refreshing.
All right.
One of the things that I hear a lot when I talk with students is the term, like I found my people, or I found like, is that, I guess for you two, has that been your experience? Because I guess it's transitioning from either high school, or we have a lot of students as well that have finished high school years ago, have worked in an industry and have decided, like I've either done this because like I was meant to, or done this because maybe one of my parents wanted to, or I gave this a go and just didn't like it. And now they've transitioned into like games and film. And they're more like actually being surrounded by people who I have conversations with, like that enjoy talking about these weird, strange things. Have you two found that experience as well? Is it very much just...
Absolutely,
definitely. Yeah. So it's quite different from high school learning. High
school learning's a lot of even just the core guidelines behind the way you get marked in this course. It's competency based, so you get marked based on, is this complete yet, or is this not complete? And even then, it's a bit lax. It's more, if you want to be the best, then your passion. That's why they look for the passion, because they have lax guidelines, and they the core requirements for each subject is dead easy. Like the only way you cannot get through this course is if you don't try.
There is a lot of support behind the students as well from the teachers, and like even though they are quite lax, like they try and guide, and like you said, like if you're showing up to class and you're like engaged with the class content, there is always support to make sure that you actually are completing the course.
Exactly.
So very encouraging. And community goes a long way. Like I know I love coming to campus because seeing students like you and Emily and seeing all the projects you guys have made, it's so exciting. So I love what I do because of you guys. So thank you so much. How about this? I already asked the dynamic. We'll skip that one. Emily, is the filmmaking course AIE exactly what you expected? So both of you coming to AIE courses, has there been any different expectations since you started?
Yeah, definitely. Honestly, I didn't know like too much of what it would be like. I remember looking at other course guides, and I was like, well, you do one big project. I'm like, that doesn't sound fun. I want to actually record more. I want to do this. And that's kind of what what we do here. We kind of get the freedom where we can film and not just sit at our desks. Like we still like learn a lot of stuff and learn backstories, I guess, on certain things.
So good. And what about you, Jordan? Like you did mention before in terms of community, but also you were touching on before in terms of portfolio and how you don't need to like create like a massive portfolio. Is that something that changed for your expectation, obviously, coming into AIE?
A little bit. I mean, I think the content that we do while we're doing it, a lot of it we can put on our portfolios. Like I think 3 or 4 projects that I've done this year alone are going on my portfolio. Especially this major production one, because it is it's the first time that or really second time that you are in such a team that you have the amount of time to make something bigger. I mean, it still takes a lot to make a game. Like even the smallest game that we're making right now is taking 6 or more months, about 6 months, just under. And there's like 2, maybe almost 3 levels in our game. So it's not a lot. It takes a lot to make everything. And that's one of the things that was the reasons behind putting everyone in a big group and going, hey, have 5 months, have 5.5 months to go make a game, is to allow us to go, okay, this is actually what it takes, and this is how difficult it is. And this is the skill requirement we need in order to be in the industry, you know? It prepares you so well for the industry, and it gives you that foundational content that that the foundational skills you need in order to pursue whichever area you want to specifically go into after college.
Yeah.
Maybe just on that, we can finish off with a last question, and then we can give it over to Matt to read through the website. But last question for both of you guys. Looking back at your time at AIE so far, what has been the most memorable instance, or like what skill have you acquired that you're going to take on to the future, like most valuable skill? Maybe Emily. Sorry, I say both of you, but you're both so quiet that I know you're waiting for us to speak. So maybe I should just say names. So Emily.
Yeah. Well, I guess like my most valuable skill at the moment is like learning Unreal Engine with the VP screen, and learning that'll be really good in the greater future, because not a lot of schools teach it. Whereas here I can be like, well, actually, you know, I know how to use a VP screen. I know how to do this, as well as like directing people and getting the experience on how to work with people, how to talk to them properly, and, you know, getting the confidence to talk up like, hey, actually, you know, I don't want this action like done this way. I want it this way instead. It's been quite good.
So true. Yeah. I know I'm very mindful about how I say things. But like, you know, building those soft skills are so important, and it's something that stays with you, you know, and you can take that into every job you pursue. So good. And what about you, Jordan?
For me, I think the main thing was really learning what it takes to take your idea and create it into an actual project, or create into a game. And it's going from that one idea to the actual end product that you get taught every single part. And that's just like the basic, you know, every single subject in this course teaches you something new, like psychology, you know, audio, narrative, a whole bunch of other things, including programming and some art. And it's that process of taking you from, you know, not knowing, you know, having an idea to having a project or even a portfolio piece that, you know, it's the most valuable skill I've learned.
Awesome. Alrighty. Well, maybe we'll hand it over to Matt now, because that was the last question, and Matt can take us through our exciting website and talk a bit about what it involves.
Well, first I'll just say a big thank you to Jordan and Emily for giving an insight into our courses. I know that half hour, 45 minutes, it's not a huge amount of time to kind of talk about what both of you have done in 2 different streams for an entire year and a half. So, but in saying that though, for anyone out there though, we do like to, I guess, leave some information for the imagination, right? So in terms of, if you want to know more, come speak to us. We're more than happy, even if you want to speak to a student directly, we're more than happy to tee that up, and you can speak to what it was like thinking about first being with AIE through to studying with us. And that kind of brings up the website then. So our website is full of an amazing amount of resources for whoever is looking at studying, whether it's a beginner's course or a holiday course, which is just a bit of fun. So AIE, we have courses for ages 12 and up. And you can really start at the very, very, very fundamental level in terms of you might have never touched a computer before or a camera, and we've got courses for you which will introduce you to all the technology, the software, the hardware, all the way through to introductory courses and career courses. So the introductory courses, these here are certificate 2s and certificate 3s. These are once again awesome foundation courses for students. So these can be done in years 10, 11 and 12 at high school. Or you can do them as an adult. They're part-time, they're just a couple days a week, and these are really testers. So really testing the field, seeing whether it's a career pathway for you. And then what we've been speaking with both Jordan and Emily tonight about was really the career courses. So you've got a range of career courses as well. So we've got our 2-year advanced diploma, or we've got our 3-year Bachelor of Game Development as well. So a range of levels of education catered to your needs. But on the website, you'll find a whole bunch of student information as well. So you'll talk about that interview and portfolio that we discussed. So what you'll need to bring for that. The nice part about the interview process for us is we don't have, if you're looking at studying with us at the career level, so that's the bachelor's or the advanced diploma, we don't have an ATAR requirement. We don't have prerequisites. We don't have presumed knowledge. We really just want to talk and see about that passion. So as Jordan and Emily described earlier, it's really, we're not looking at to judge your skill in that interview. We're more so just looking at, is this student really passionate about the area? And if that's you, if you do love games, if you do love film, we'd love to be able to teach you so that you can work in this industry. And then there's a whole bunch of fees, vet student loans, funding, scholarships, international students policies. We've got a range of campuses as well, so you feel free to get in touch with any of our campuses. We've got 5 in Australia, Adelaide, Sydney, Melbourne, Canberra, and we've also got an online campus, and we've also got 2 in America. So if we're talking to any US people, absolutely, come join us in Seattle or Lafayette. And then there's the asking question as well. But yeah, feel free. One of the best things I always recommend is just get in touch with us. Nat, myself, we've got amazing event officers and admin staff around the campuses, heads of school, trainers even. Our trainers are all industry experts. So if you just want to come in and discuss like, hey, what does working in the games industry look like? We can tee you up to come and have a chat with a professional game developer. And you can ask all the questions and find out yourself as well. So,
yay. Well, Matt already said thank you to you guys. I'm going to say it again. Thank you so much, Emily and Jordan, for joining us today. You guys are the experts. You're actually doing the course. So it was really insightful and interesting to hear your experiences. Thank you for everyone joining in today. Like Matt said, we're really friendly, really helpful. So please come in and visit us at some nearby events as well, or just send through some questions. But we'd love to hear from you and meet you. But yeah, thanks so much, guys.
Thanks so much. Have a good night, everyone, and we'll see you hopefully at an event or on campus soon.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.